Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on the channel or our website. Reach out to me directly, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a 2020 model that's just becoming available on pre-owned markets, a factory tribute to a 1970 prototype chronograph. This is the Zenith Chronomaster Revival Shadow, a revival watch dedicated to that low production black chronograph of 1970. It uses an automatic El Primero caliber and has delightfully wearable size and timeless proportions. So the watch is technically 37 millimeters in blackened matte finish titanium. 37 millimeters is the diameter, 12.9 millimeters, the surprisingly thin measurement from crystal to crystal, and then we have two squared off lug ends with a span of only 46.8 millimeters across the wrist with a somewhat custom strap spacing of 19.5 millimeters. 19 will fit, but 19.5 is the exact measurement. Taking a quick look at the hardware and the software, we'll get closer. You can see there's a contrasting binding, then there's a monotone stitch. This is a Codora textile, which means it is very tough indeed. It's thick in profile, and rotating the watch over, you can see that there is a rubber inlay on the bottom. So the rubber inlay is a wonderful way to isolate the strap from the moisture, sweat, and grit of the wrist while also providing a supple buffer from the textile. There's another media blasted black component in titanium, and that is the buckle, a handsome piece that matches a case that is all media blasted. You can see that this is a complex form, as the top of the watch is effectively monoblock. There's no separate bezel. Everything's loaded in through the reverse of the case. And as a result, this has a hewn from a solid ingot look to it. The curvature is surprisingly complicated. As you can see, it swells at the mid case and then tapers at the ends. There's a little bit of a camber, almost like a tonneau case. And then there is a transitional bevel that runs the entire circumference of the lug hoods and the bezel top. The timepiece is remarkably coherent and cohesive. Everything is that same media blasted blackened color, and that goes for the pump style chronograph pushers and the Zenith Star logo crown. Now this might look like a plexiglass, and true to history, it has an exaggerated camber and a distortion effect, but it is a sapphire crystal. It's been bubble shaped and highly domed in order to evoke the original plexiglass on the prototype. The dial is a matte black, and as you can see, it features a tachymeter scale integral with the dial that can be used for gauging the speed of an object over, say, a mile or a kilometer, used in conjunction with the chronograph. The timepiece, of course, features sunken registers for chronograph minutes, hours, and constant seconds, and everything is a very simple white on black print. When you turn the watch over, you'll note something a little bit unusual, which is that it uses the caliber 4061, which is the open escapement movement, often used on the open heart or open escapement dials. It's a little bit of a quirk that the watch uses that particular movement, but I sense one of the reasons is this is a no-date dial. Note its symmetry. It is unadorned, unbroken. If you don't love dates, this is the watch for you. You'll also note that the indices themselves, in somewhat of a contrast with the stark and minimalist dial, the indices are actually rhodium-plated steel that are hand-applied rather than cheaper printed features. The movement has a bidirectional automatic winding system, 52-hour power reserve. It pivots on 31 jewels. It has a column wheel lateral clutch chronograph, and you can actually see the column wheel in action. It is blued. You can also see the steel chronograph clutch, levers, and recentering hammers. Here are the recentering hammers falling at center. It's a good-looking movement. Most automatic chronographs are not very handsome. The El Primero has long been an exception to this. It also beats away at the historic 10 beats per second or 36,000 vibrations per hour. This was, of course, the first automatic integrated high-beat chronograph in the world back in 1969, and to this day, its column wheel feel remains a paragon of precision. It feels and sounds superb. It is a very crisp action, and if you may wonder why would you want a lateral clutch when a vertical clutch is more efficient? It's because a lateral clutch is beautiful and it hides nothing. You can see its every motion. This is a glorious piece, water resistant down to 50 meters. It is a timepiece for the ages. True, a tribute to 1970, but this watch feels right for the year 2020 in size, minimalist ornamentation. There's no bombast. It's bold without being crass. This is a timepiece for all time. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Now here you can see the Chronomaster Shadow by night.